What's up guys, it's Choso Gaming and I'm playing Chocolate Edition modpack, and
It's just live?
this is obviously not live, but ignore that part, my keyboard is just too loud. So the entire goal of this modpack is to get eyes. And for this first episode, what I'm getting is the first Eye of Ender. And you might think that's pretty easy, but we have a few complications. One, getting Eyes of Ender is usually based off of going to the Nether, but I cannot enter the Nether until I've gotten at least a few Eyes of Ender first, and I don't have those. So my first goal is to run around, get lost, and kind of just screw around.
So how long is this movie gonna be?
I have a total of 3 hours of footage here, and I cut it down quite a bit thanks to my editor. And the general idea of this first episode is to beat at least one boss and to get at least one Eye of Ender. So after waddling my way out of the village, I come across a acacia campsite, and I get my trusty axe that I use throughout the entire rest of the video. And of course, on a cliff, the only thing to do next is to just jump off the cliff. And I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at the map, I'm like, where do I go? Surely there's something else to do, and then I just jump. After splooshing down from my cliff dive, I have some things to do. I haven't done any crafting, and I haven't really made anything of substance yet, though I have a bad eye going from a village and the wood that I got from the little campsite thing. I make a pickaxe, so I make a pickaxe, and then from that I can make a hammer, and then that brings us into Tetra. So while I'm building all these things in real time, or not so real time.
Okay.
Tetra is a mod about modular tools and kind of just messing around. Like it's sort of like Tinker's Construct for those that have heard of it before. And the whole idea of this entire mod is to make vanilla tools more interesting and more involved, because vanilla crafting is kind of boring. Once you make something, it's just what you've made. You might be able to put some enchantments on it or whatever, but what is done, but in Tetra, that's not what's up at all. So I make a stone sword, and then I make a boat, and then I skip ahead a bunch because nothing happens for forever. Before continuing on yet another journey, I make sure to click on this waystone in a jungle village. All of the waystones do have a funny name, but I am not going to pronounce them because I don't feel like it. These villages were not really of great importance to me, or to anyone for that matter, but I wanted to go here just in case I died, or if I needed more beds, or so on and so forth. This is also where I get some obsidian, gold, and iron, though the obsidian just clogs up my inventory and I eventually just put it down. And this iron I use to make my first piece of armor, which is not something that I had had to this point. Having put my helmet on, I'm back on going to my next area. After coming across a pillager village of some sort, I make sure to use my bed in hand and also just dodge around, as this mod pack does contain dodge rolling. I take out some vindicators, yet there are still quite a few pillagers for me to deal with, so I'm not quite out of the fire yet. These guys are not the most dangerous of mobs, but I still have to be careful as I don't have a lot of armor and crossbows hurt a lot. I die a few times during this whole excursion, though when I was doing this the first time, like I've done a few different tries of this mod pack. I've had a lot of trouble. It just crashes a lot, especially when I alt tab, and maybe alt tabbing is my fault. After running around a bit, I make sure to hide away, as I can't handle this many pillagers. I don't think anyone can, especially when I just don't have that much to go for. And now that I have a new sword, it's time for me to do some stuff with Tetra. Both of these things are quite useful. I'm a big fan of Sweeping Edge. I think it's a cool enchantment. I don't think it's necessarily quite good, but it's definitely unique and cool, even if you're... I'd go as far to say that. And you can see I'm using it to great efficacy against this many pillagers. Like, there are just so many guys there. Alright, so now the food situation is a bit desperate. I actually get to use my fungus from earlier. And I'm a fan of fungus, I guess. Things are still not going great since there are just too many pillagers. And I'm not really sure why I didn't just run away here. I didn't need to stand and fight, but, you know, it's more fun to have a show of strength. And in my infinite wisdom, I pick up some XP. I look at some crafting recipes for obsidian. For what reason, I'm not sure. The world may never know. I think that you'll, if you could see the entire recording, just whenever I open up a crafting grid, it is purely just to see if I need to throw it away. A genuine complaint I have about the mod pack so far is I would like to put things in backpacks. I like to put things in storage. I just want to be able to put things elsewhere other than just in my inventory all the time. Long story short, I'm spending a lot of time trying to do things that don't quite make sense. I get my first death, and I die about 10 times, I think, throughout this entire video. I know it's a lot. I'm kind of a noob, as you see. That one I don't think is wholly my fault. Like, I'm under geared for the situation. I try to hide in this tent, but this tent is just not complete. I don't know where I'm supposed to hide if there's no cover. No cover is no big deal, as it's no big deal if you're dead. And dying is what I plan on doing here. Plan is a strong word for that situation, but, you know, it happens. The other problem with pillagers in this situation is there really are just so many. And I think it's probably time to just check out the last big tent and then run away. And that's what I work on doing. Though, I do guess wrong where the entrance is multiple times. If you see, I check this side, I check the other side, and I'm like, why can't I go there? And I just couldn't go through. I could have tried to mine a hole through it, but I think that I would have gotten countered and just died from it. And I managed to die to a pillager in a small room. After toiling away for quite some time at the village, and I go to this cool tower. If you've not heard of these towers before, they're kind of like it in Breath of the Wild, as that achievement would suggest. And they're kind of like Breath of the Wild because at the top we have a very special item. That very special item you'll see in just a second as I make it up this ladder. Get more whack, and I get a paraglider. I also get some cool enchantments. I like Mending, Unbreaking, Respiration. Those are unusual enchantments to be comboed together, but Unbreaking and Mending are very strong. And now that I have a glider, it's time for me to go run away, basically. And I pop Smiting on my my sword, because I love Smite. It's very good. I cannot afford Mending, but I can afford Smite. By afford Smite, I mean I can't afford Smite. And after clearing out my inventory, it's time to paraglide somewhere. And there'll be a cool little paragliding montage throughout most of this video because I have to paraglide everywhere. we have a big tower thing. We also have another campsite. I don't even know if they're called a campsite, I'm not gonna lie, but so this crazy jungle tower thing has a bunch of stuff in it. I have a little bit more in the ways of doing damage. I got my smite sword, so that's going to be perfect for over here. The enemies are primarily husks and skeletons. I poke at my settings. I'm trying to see if my brightness is all messed up. I don't know what they're cooking with the shaders, because I think that shaders should not make the game as dark as it is. Like, I carry torches almost the entire rest of the game just because otherwise it's too dark. Anyway, I have to jump off the edge because I was gonna die. I die a lot less throughout this experience purely because I'm twerking. What the hell? I did not realize that was happening. The way that I died a lot less was by just playing a lot more evasively. Like, it's really hard to survive, especially in Minecraft. Like, if something's trying to kill you, you're gonna die. I have a dodge roll, yeah, but I'm not really gonna go very far. Speaking of dodge rolling, I wish I could dodge roll out of having recorded so much footage, because like I played this game a lot. Like there's a run prior that I spent 5 hours getting to the point I did in 3 hours for this video, and I think that anyone in their right mind is not going to watch 5 hours of Minecraft footage when I'm mostly just getting lost. Like, if it was like 5 hours of pure action, like maybe I could understand, but I don't have that. I should have picked up the smite there. I missed that, really. Oops. So I'm taking on the skeletons. There's some husks. Husks I think are really cool. Husks are the desert version of zombies, and I wish that there were more variants of that kind of thing. The mods that I'm playing do include a new version of skeletons, or several versions of skeletons, and lots of new zombies. Vanilla Minecraft is literally just zombies, skeletons, and that's it, really. Like, the undead need to be fleshed out more, boned out more. It's terrible. Okay. But bone puns aside, I think that mods really do a lot of things that vanilla should already be doing. And the fact that they don't do it, it's just kind of sad, you know. Like, they could be doing more. You get to see me get my first piece of diamond armor. I don't think I really use it at all. It's hard to use diamonds because I just don't have a lot of them. I could go mining, but I am very lazy. Mining in the later versions of Minecraft, I just don't really enjoy the same way. The fact that it takes forever to get back from like where true bedrock is just, it's too tedious for me, and I don't feel like wasting a waystone for it either. Crafting waystones is something that I could have done, but I did not do it because again, like I said, I'm lazy, and I don't really feel like Minecraft is literally called Minecraft. Mining is in the title. I don't think that one of the main advertised features of the game should be tedious. I think it should always be fun. And if it isn't fun, then it shouldn't be a part of the game. Like, we play video games to enjoy ourselves, not to be overwhelmed with relentless tedium. However, maybe that's your thing. Maybe you want relentless tedium, and all the power to you, but I personally would rather not be overwhelmed with relentless tedium. I try my best to play games that are actually fun. Does that always happen? No, I play idle games. Like, really, you can... there are a lot of complaints that could be levied at me in terms of my ideas of game quality. When it comes to the idea of making mining less fun in Minecraft, that's a terrible idea, and anyone who's in favor of that, I vehemently disagree with. Either way, I finished clearing out this dungeon. It was pretty easy. Now, I paraglide to the next area, and I'll see you after the next skip. So now we've skipped forward about 30 minutes, and I've run into a ruins thing. I'm messing around, I'm jumping around, and I finally find something cool. At least, I think it's cool. For the most part, it's kind of disappointing, I'll be real. I think that it looks a lot cooler than it is, which is a bit sad to say, because I was quite excited when I found it. But anyway, the main thing that's cool about this is that you can just jump straight down. I pop out my parachute, unnecessary. I don't really paraglide too much. So now we're back into the cave. In this cave, there is a cockroach. There's some instant harming. Instant harming isn't super useful because most enemies actually heal from instant harming, which is kind of a weird quirk of Minecraft. Undead mobs take healing from damaging stuff and take damaging from, or blah blah blah. You get the gist. Healing potions heal me but damage them, but damaging potions damage me but heal them, yeah. So the reason I'm picking up string here, for example, strings are part of eyes. So not only do I have to get Eyes of Ender, but I have to get like funky Eyes of Ender. So one of them includes an item that I'll get further down in this dungeon. This is a blaze catcher. I don't have any blazes. I'm not going to be able to go to the nether for quite some time. I think that's probably going to be in episode 2, or at least I hope. I've never actually gotten far enough in this mod to even be able to catch blazes myself. But the Totem of Undying is probably more likely what I'll get here. Now we get to see the crossbow skeletons. I don't really get to find any. I want to fidget so much with these different pickaxes, but it just doesn't happen. There are too many different options. Like, I already have an iron pickaxe, so I get a better one, but the mending silk touch thing, it just doesn't work. I would love for mending and silk touch to be a good combo, but you want mending on something that gives you XP, and you don't get XP for silk touching stuff. So like, if I mine up diamond ore, it's not going to give me diamonds and XP, it's just going to give me diamond ore. So the whole point of mending is that when you get XP, the XP fixes that. Anyway, ignoring all that, there are other zombie variants I forgot to mention. They're also drowned. So drowned are drowned zombies. Drowned zombies are immune to drowning. Shocker. And they swim underwater. Sometimes they have a trident. Sometimes they're just normal. Another unique thing, I learned this from a YouTube short, is that if the trident is enchanted, it just doesn't work. Like, they just can't use it properly, which is kind of a bummer. I really feel like that there could have been something done there, but unfortunately that is not the case. There are a lot of cool, here I'm owning these skeletons. These are crossbow skeletons, like sunken skeletons, I believe they're called. The only thing I missed is clams here. I'm supposed to open the clams, or oysters, not clams, silly me. These oysters will give me rare drops potentially. I'm not really sure how to open them though, so oh well. I was thinking that if I like messed around with events, then I could have done something, but it doesn't really seem like it works like that. Anyway, getting blinded. This is rough. Like it dangerous stuff. So this is an explorer. These guys drop explorer hats. Maybe they're called like wander. I don't remember what they're called. It doesn't really matter. But those guys drop their hat, and their hat is a material for another Eye of Ender. And that's kind of the only essential thing left on this. It's crazy how long I spend in this dungeon, and I get very, very little from it. It's quite unfortunate. I really wish I had gotten more, because I was in there for quite some time. I even died a few times, but they don't drop their bows. I'm not really going to use their explorer hats for anything, but they look cool. Like, you can say that. Like, I like having unique enemies, and I'll have my editor fast forward very politely through the rest of the dungeon for you, and hopefully we can show any cool drops, but that's basically it for now. Alright, after our biggest skip yet, it's been about an hour since the last part of the video, because honestly, not very much happened. And I'm bouncing around, we're running around on the beach, and I finally put my bed down. I have gone from the jungle to now the beach. I've been across basically the entire Minecraft world. I have some new stuff. I have a sinking necklace. I try to mess around with it. Sinking like a stone, it's not great. It's not great. And you can take fall damage underwater now, which is quite the conundrum, right? You wouldn't think, sinking makes you take damage, but it does. And I fight some swordfish. Swordfish suck. I am not a fan of them. I had some swordfish bones and a chest, and I get one of my favorite things ever in just a second here. Get some bread, nice. Do I miss the floating chest? I may be blind. I might actually have missed an entire crate. Oh well. I am paying less attention while I'm actively playing Minecraft. Check some chests, there's nothing in here, but really, the exciting part is this buried treasure map. And, so this guy's a deepling brute, to be specific. I despise deeplings. They are really annoying, they do too much damage. I really just don't have a way to combat them effectively. When I'm fighting them, when I'm on land and they're in the water, that's not too bad, because, you know, your AI can only be so good. And honestly, I would say that regular deeplings can be more annoying, because they just throw their trident like crazy. But I get my swift revenge on this one. Alright, so we pull up the treasure map. I'm looking around, I go the wrong way. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm a complete noob. When it comes to treasure maps, oftentimes I'll have to go into spectator when I'm playing vanilla Minecraft. I have bad luck when it comes to finding buried treasure, for whatever reason. However, this one particular case, that was not a big deal. And I'll just fill the air for you while we're waiting to find it here. So I'm going around, I'm exploring, I can see more progress on the map. Going on the island, I'm doing all these things. I'm just going the complete wrong way as I do. I, for some reason, thought that, like, the greenery meant that it had to be on the main island instead of more on the beach, but of course it's on the beach, man. Like, you can see the sand on the map. It's pretty self-evident. I get another magical flower. Magical flowers will come into play eventually. I don't know how to get mana. Some people pronounce it mana. I in fact do not, but it doesn't really matter too much. I gotta eat some more food. Very ironic, I eat so much bread in this game. I'm actually incapable of eating bread in real life for whatever reason. But that's a different story altogether. And yeah, I think this is Cantaloupia. There we go, cantaloupe slice. And then I throw it right on the ground again. So I approach my treasure, and I mine down, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to look for it, I'm gonna have to do crazy tech, and it's just right there. And it doesn't work, and I'm messing around, and it's still not working, and then I have to relog because this game is bugged. I do encounter some technical difficulties when it comes to this mod. I'm not just being a baby when I'm like, things don't work or whatever. I literally have to quit out here. So I load back in, and it's still not working. And then, oh, it finally works, let's see it. Right-clicking it, I'm spazzing around, like, I'm just so frustrated. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so cool, I did something unique in Minecraft, or, not really unique, but at least exciting. And we open up the chest, and I had a snorkel. Being able to breathe underwater permanently is really, really nice. I was at an ideal happy dance for it. And I'm quite happy. This is one of the few things that I've gotten so far that I'm actually excited about. And then we got some other things too. The rest is basically garbage, but there we go. Now we skip forward again. So, after opening up my map for a second, it's a blood moon. Things are gonna get crazy. We got a zombie, we got a big zombie, I think it's a zombie bruiser. Yeah, it's a zombie bruiser. And I'm trying to survive. Blood moons are crazy. We got conjoined skeletons, like what the hell? Some of these monster designs are quite macabre. Like I'm not sure what they're cooking with it, but they look cool. Like the oh, wow. So there's a bunch of pirates and a pirate captain even. I don't know what he's doing. Like I look away, I come back, and he dropped no loot for some reason. Like, I was very close to killing him. I was trying to be careful so I don't die. I really am trying to die as little as possible. I still die plenty, don't worry. I think I'm around 10 deaths at this point. Maybe a little bit more. One of my most embarrassing deaths so far, other than just, dying at all, come on, it's Minecraft, really? Like, was that I died to a Vex in like a tower thing, having reset my spawn point, and I had to go all the way back from spawn to a new area. Like I walked across basically the entire planet to get back to where I was, or just a new area altogether. And that will probably be showcased somewhere in the traversal montages that we got. So that here, what I'm killing right now is a Geomancer. He can drop a weapon that's part of a Eye of Ender, but I, of course, did not get it because I'm not lucky. A lot of the reason I'm skipping forward in footage is that I do kill a lot of like cool mobs or whatever, but they don't drop what I need them to, and it's just it's basically just B-roll if I'm showing you all of it. Like some of the dungeons I clear, like I get like, wow, you got 10 iron from something that took you 40 minutes, and it's like, whew, it's very important viewing. And it makes me sad to remind myself of it. However, some of these mobs are really cool. That guy that was teleporting around is a Revenant. They teleport a bunch, and that fire does do real damage. Like, if I sat in that for a second or two, I think I would die. But the startup frames for it are not particularly dangerous. Startup frames, for the people who don't know, are the few frames of an attack, like when it's starting up, like startup. I don't know what else it would mean. It's more of a fighting game term, I think, than a regular video game term. Regular video game? Or non-fighting game. But when it comes to Minecraft, I can use whatever terminology I feel like. Oh, I have the brilliant idea of trying to attack something underwater. It does help that I can breathe underwater infinitely. However, when it comes to attacking things underwater, you better have a better plan than what I'm doing. I think some of the issues is it's very hard to dodge. Like, I'm not really sure where to go, and I don't have ranged options underwater. However, doesn't matter. I die, I pick myself up, and I might do hardcore eventually if you guys are interested in that. I'm not sweaty enough to do it properly, I think. My original thought was that I was going to do hardcore, but I just don't have the patience to restart whenever I die. I think I get really frustrated. I used to play a few games where I really like roguelikes, for example, like where you die, it puts you back to the start. And I died just like almost here trying to just mess with my inventory. But I get really frustrated playing games where you lose all your progress whenever you die, because like, what's the point in playing if you die and you lose everything every time you play? But maybe there's a grander purpose of that idea, and that if you die, that means that like the time you spent playing as that character meant all that much more. Which is not an idea that I wholly disagree with, but it's still just very frustrating. And when it comes to Minecraft, I think it would take me so much longer to not die, because I would actually have to like be paying attention and like not watching YouTube most of the time when I was playing this. And oh, here we get another big pirate captain guy, and I get overexcited and nearly die yet again because I'm just not being careful. But there's even two of them. So the reason I'm so excited about pirate captains is, one, they look cool, and two, they drop something. I think they can drop a musket. I did not get that, obviously, because I'm never lucky, but there's a potentiality for me to get something cool like that. So I kill more pirates. I even managed to, or I don't know if I actually killed him. I think he blew up when it came to the first pirate guy. So what am I doing? I'm so silly with this, like blowing people up with creepers. I think one of the pirate captains blew up from a creeper there. That might be why I didn't get loot. And I'm so glad that explosions didn't blow up my items, because I got a treasure chest, and spoiler alert, treasure chests are pretty cool. They might even have loot in them. I know it's a huge surprise with the name, right? But the post Blood Moon experience was pretty cool. I got to finally finish off those pirate captain guys, and of course I think after this I go back in the water and die to stuff, but I'm just I'm not geared up for the water yet. There's an aquamarine, I think that's how you say it, sword that I might want to invest in by that point. It doubles your damage when you're underwater. But again, I don't have that stuff, and I haven't found the icy biome that's necessary for it. Yeah, this is the treasure chest. It's just like spewing loot everywhere. It wouldn't have the musket in it or whatever it's called, but it does have lots of other stuff, which is really all that matters. These stupid oysters. And it's raining again. I might be the only one who... No, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like the rain in Minecraft. I find the rain really annoying because it adds a lot of lag to the game. So, I get my diamonds, I get my emeralds, and with that, I upgrade my stuff. And we'll skip ahead to the next part, yet again. Alright, so I am approaching a firelight altar. I have no idea what it's actually called, but these little firelight bugs are super annoying, and they even poop out a fire after you kill them, which might be a reference to a real beetle, if you didn't know. Like some beetles can poop out fire, kind of. They're called bombardier beetles, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I only thought beetles were cool when I was a small child, and it's been a few years since I've been a small child. Now I'm a very tall man-child, but, you know, who's keeping score? So I find this chest, and this chest I've been praying for. I saw one earlier, but it didn't have blaze powder, and I'm spazzing on my cursor because I'm real life happy, like actually happy that I found one of these, because I finally get my first Eye of Ender. I spent 2 hours and 50 minutes to find one of these, and I can't get them from the nether. This is the only real way to get them, and god, it friggin' sucked. Like, it sucked. I tried really hard to find one. The closest I've gotten before, it took me like 5 or 6 hours. It might have taken me even longer, and this firelight thing, it saved my butt, and it saved this video, because I think I would have scrapped this video if I hadn't found it as soon as I did. But luckily for me and luckily for you guys, thank you for watching to this point. I think this video is going to be a little bit longer than my usual content. I want to make longer videos. I rarely have the stamina. Like playing this much Minecraft did take me some time. I took like 2 or 3 days to make just this video, ignoring the fails. Like, including the fails, it took me about a week to get all this stuff done. I am very happy that I made this work. And now for the final part of the video, after making the Eye of the Ender thingy. Eye of the Ender. After assembling my makeshift storage spot, which I'm still currently in progress of making, here we go. I plop in all my stuff and blah blah blah. Very exciting. But now that we've gotten to the final part of the video, it's time for you guys to know I'm supposed to fight a boss, because I did my Eye of Ender. That promise I've achieved. I don't want to say something in the title or in the start of the video and then not do it. Luckily, I'm dubbing over my own video, so it's not really a surprise. I do need to make a rope arrow for an Eye of Ender, however bizarre that sounds. I'm not really sure why you would use rope arrows in Minecraft. Like, I can understand in other games, but just like noob towering up is what I like to do. Or maybe that's just me. Anyway, so we have all these things. Almost all those items in the chest are things that are just clogging up my inventory, or essential items for making the next Eye of Ender. Either way, I just don't have enough inventory room. This thing is looking for structures. It's part of Tetra, but I just don't have time for it. I had already spent 3 hours on this so far, and I'm like, we can do that next video, or just whenever I feel like it. The texture structure I'm speaking of is in fact not really important right now, because the thing that I need to fight is Mr. Pumpkin. His name is not in fact Mr. Pumpkin, it's Mr. Pumpkinhead, I think. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. I even say like I'm gonna fight a boss, because of course I do. And it's true. And this is where we're going. Now the final fight of the video. Can I handle Mr. Pumpkin? And yes, I can. This was tense. This is one of the hardest fights I've had in Minecraft. Not because it's the hardest boss ever, but because I was really undergeared. I think that this boss is supposed to be fairly easy. And fun fact, if you die, the boss health bar resets. So if at any point I died, especially in this first phase, I would have to fight him basically from the beginning. I pull out the bow and arrow, like I'm pulling out all the stops. Not only do I dodge, I heal carefully, like I'm running around. He has this soul stratification thing, which is the longest name for any debuff in the universe. And with that soul stratification, he will make you take more damage, I believe. It's a defense debuff thing. Or maybe it makes you take more damage flat. It's something along those lines. So getting hit by him multiple times in a row will kill you, even if you have good defense. Like there's a few other bosses like that, like Cataclysm bosses. I don't remember what they're called. Ender's Cataclysm. So I'm fighting this guy. My blood's pumping, and it's insane. I have my smite sword up. He has some health on him. He's a pretty thick guy. Now we're in phase 2. He even pulls out the rainstorm ability, which does nothing but summon rain. I made it sound cooler than it is. So he's shooting pumpkins at me. His little horse is attacking me, and both of these things are quite obnoxious. However, his horse is kind of cool looking, right? Like he might be something worth taking note of. So I am still fighting him. He's shooting pumpkins. You do get his pumpkin staff guaranteed if you win. Of course, if you win. I have totally died to this guy, and he despawned before. If that kind of thing happened here, I would be very sad, because finding these is quite rare. I definitely noticed this like weird spot on the map, and this is like a fairly flat area, so seeing something like light up is weird. A few times during the recording, you can probably see me opening up my map and setting it to nighttime to see if there's any nearby one of these guys. He is like a kind of like ritualistic altar. I don't know, that might be overselling it, but it's a bunch of candles with a pumpkin around it. So we're in the final phase. I already killed his body. All I have to do is pew his head, and I'm gonna shoot him with the bow and arrow, and I miss. And I just rush in. He barely has any health, and we finish him off. I'm really excited because I didn't think I was gonna beat it first try. And more importantly, I get the Fellsteed lamp. The Fellsteed lamp is so cool, like really, really cool. I don't have a horse. I don't have any quick way to get around. His soul saber thingy, I'm looking around for the candy, and I'm like, where the hell would candy go? He can drop candy sometimes. I think I even write down like, where's my candy? It's very unfortunate that happened, but either way, that's the end of the video. Before we end off, here's his horse. And honestly, I think it's something that needs to go in the thumbnail, because like this thing is so cool, even though my character looks like a total dork. Thank you guys for watching. Choso Gaming out.